What if an animal could survive without oxygen? Not for a few minutes, not by holding its breath, but as part of its normal biology. Deep inside the tissues of salmon lives an animal that does something almost unthinkable. It doesn't use oxygen for aerobic cellular respiration. Its name is Henneguya salminicola, a tiny parasite related to jellyfish and corals. And the strangest part isn't where it lives, it's what evolution removed from it. For most animals, oxygen is essential because our cells use mitochondria to extract large amounts of energy from food. Inside these tiny structures, a chain of chemical reactions uses oxygen to help produce ATP, the molecule cells use to power almost everything they do. Remove oxygen, and this system stops working normally. But Henneguya salminicola took a completely different evolutionary path. Researchers examining its DNA discovered something extraordinary. It has no mitochondrial genome. That means it has lost the genetic machinery associated with aerobic cellular respiration. So how can an animal survive? The answer begins with its lifestyle. Henneguya doesn't swim through open water searching for food like a fish. It lives inside its host. Its entire existence is tied to the tissues of salmon, an environment where oxygen availability can be extremely different from the oxygen-rich conditions experienced by animals like us. And over evolutionary time, something remarkable appears to have happened. When an organism lives in an environment where oxygen is scarce, maintaining an expensive oxygen-dependent system can become less useful. Evolution doesn't always build new abilities. Sometimes, it removes abilities that have become unnecessary. That's exactly what makes this animal so fascinating. Its ancestors were animals with mitochondria, but Henneguya gradually lost genes associated with mitochondrial DNA maintenance and aerobic respiration. The researchers found that many of these genes were either missing or reduced to non-functional remnants called pseudogenes. In other words, evolution didn't simply teach this animal to survive without oxygen. It appears to have stripped away parts of the machinery that made oxygen-based energy production possible in the first place. And there's an important distinction here. This doesn't mean the parasite has no mitochondria-like structure whatsoever. Researchers found an organelle that resembles a mitochondrion, but its genome is gone. Because it no longer performs the oxygen-dependent functions of a typical mitochondrion, scientists classify it as a mitochondria-related organelle. That raises an even stranger question. If the animal can't perform normal aerobic respiration, where does its energy come from? Scientists know that it has adapted to an anaerobic lifestyle, but the precise details of its energy metabolism are still not completely understood. And that uncertainty is important. Because Henneguya salminicola isn't just a weird exception, it shows us something fundamental about evolution. We often imagine evolution as a process of adding things: better eyesight, faster movement, stronger defenses. But evolution can also work through subtraction. If a feature costs energy to maintain and stops being useful, natural selection can favor organisms that gradually lose it. Over enormous stretches of time, an animal can become simpler in one way, while becoming extraordinarily specialized in another. And that's the real surprise. The animal that doesn't need oxygen isn't some creature from a hostile alien planet. It's a relative of jellyfish living inside a salmon. A microscopic parasite survived by entering a world where one of the most fundamental rules of animal biology became optional. For us, oxygen is everywhere, and our cells are built around using it. For Henneguya salminicola, evolution found another way. Sometimes survival doesn't mean becoming better equipped for the world. Sometimes, it means no longer needing the equipment at all.